Well, I thought about 9 things, and if you allow me. And what we do in math is you separate the variables. And what's happening is all the variables are jumbled together and people are reacting. But if you separate the variables, it can be revealing. For example, he's celebrating his score at the end of a game, correct? I mean, during the game. And he does it in a way that's different from everyone else, gesturally. And to me, that's a form of a freedom of expression, a freedom of speech. If you don't like that, at some point you have to confess to yourself you're not a fan of freedom of speech. And so if you're going to do that, that's a different country from what I understand Australia claims to be. That's A. B, it was in another occasion, in response to this, a 13-year-old girl engages him with the comment. Well, first, the fact that she says that he reminds her of an ape or something. Now, okay, did she come up with that on her own? Or was it her friends? Likely it was her parents. If you're 13, you just don't say that unless you came from an environment where that's been said before. That's really weird. That's, in the 21st century, for people to be behaving that way, I'm highly disappointed, if I can say. Now, so, then she calls him an ape, and then I thought, why did she call him an ape? Because you know what she's done? She's selectively chosen things about apes that she thinks apply to him, and not other things that would apply to people who are white. For example, apes have hair all over their bodies. You have never seen a black person with hair all over their bodies. Black people are some of the least hairiest people in this world. And who are the hairiest? It's white people. They're the hairiest. With hair on the back, out of the neck. And so if you focused on hair, then you could call white people monkeys, right? It's all racist
Can
conduct.
I just say quickly, as the only bald person on this panel, I am finding this conversation very hairless all of a sudden. I just want you to know that, Mel.
I don't want to hog the thing, but I just got to get this. You asked me. I'm just trying to get it off my chest.
I did. I wanted a cosmic perspective.
Okay, so then he's paid millions of dollars. He's a professional athlete. Then I thought about him and I said, someone is commenting from the audience. Get over it, okay? If Jackie Robinson, because we've been through this in the United States, Jackie Robinson breakthrough into Major League Baseball.
That was 1947. Then.
Yes, it was 70 years ago, 80 years or whatever, and so people are booing him, and he rose above it. And what you can do is, rather than argue with the person booing at you, the next press conference you can say, this happens all the time, and I'm disappointed, and I expected more, but I'm professional, and I'll eat it.
Let me go back to Michael, who asked the question. Michael, what do you think about that last part of that, the suggestion that perhaps he should rise above it?
I think he has a tremendous opportunity to educate, particularly young people, around racism, and that's exactly what he attempted to do. And I don't understand why that attempt to educate somebody about what's harmful around racism is being so misrepresented in the Australian media at the moment.
I'm just going to...
So, yes, but I have another question, okay? Why does anyone think or reference him as a black footballer? He's a footballer, okay? Why, where does... When, why, and where does skin color matter in that sport? Okay? So when I think of people talking about race, it's being invoked here in Australia, as far as I can tell, as it means to figure out who belongs and who does not. Yet, I, as an astrophysicist, when I think about race, I think about it as something that unifies us all. I think about it as the human race.
Thank you very much. Adam, I'm going to go to you as a sports fan. I'll hear from the other panellists.
The problem was, I mean, the gentleman who got evicted from the West Coast game, and I use the word gentleman advisedly, for shouting, "Get back to the zoo." When he was evicted, said that was political correctness gone mad. This is just a bit of harmless banter. The former representative soccer goalkeeper who tweeted that Adam Goodes should be deported for his opinions, which were totally not his opinions, in that hypothetical world, to where do you deport an Indigenous Australian? You incalculable moron. I can't imagine what it's like to walk around with a head as rattlingly hollow as that guy, right? And the thing is, I don't believe every person who was booing was doing it racially motivated. But a percentage of people were. And it's got to the point now where if you choose to keep booing, you are hitching your wagon to the guy who is booing because he's saying, get back to the zoo. And that's where it just has to stop. Even if you feel you have some implied right in the Constitution of freedom of speech where you can boo the guy, if he is interpreting it as racial vilification, that's where you just, as a decent human being, stop doing it. On a positive note, I was there on the weekend, and I've been in big crowds before. I've been there when you win an AFL grand final and half the team are sort of orgasmic and the other half of the crowd are sort of defeated. I've been when Australia's qualified for a Soccer World Cup and almost aggressive celebrations. Never been in a group of 40,000 people on the weekend who were just being lovely. And there was just this, honestly, just this feeling of compassion and human decency. The Adelaide fans on the weekend were just awesome. The only tiny boo on the weekend was when the umpire got a decision wrong that should have been an Adelaide goal, and the Swans fans were going, it's a really bad decision, mate. I'm confident when they go
it's okay to boo the umpire.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
No, but I'm confident...
That's required.
I'm confident when we go to Geelong this weekend, if Adam does play, it will end. Geelong are a decent club, a really good club. Geelong had Polly Farmer, probably the greatest Aboriginal footballer of all time, played for them. The guy from the Swans who's been leading the whole negotiation with Geelong is Tom Harley, now with the Swans, a former Geelong champion. They are good people at Geelong. It will end this weekend, I'm confident.